Hey, Vernon, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Man, thank you for having me, man.
I know we've got a few things that we want to cover today, but I'd like to start kind of with your story first and how you got into creating a sensory friendly haircut experience for children and adults.
Man. I guess it all started in one part of where I come from, one part business and being, barber slash cosmetologist and cutting hair, and one part of having a heart as a servant leader and volunteering and church and doing kids club or working with children one facet or another, because children have always gravitated to me, and it's always been a warm interaction between us. And so, but when it came to the business part, where a lot of times it was challenging because when parents will book their kids' haircut appointment, it's already challenging enough to do a kid's haircut, especially the first haircut, whether they're neurodivergent or not. But when you add on the neurodivergency, it's a different level in their sensitivities. So when they will book, they'll never specify if that child had different needs. And so
Sure.
this is only a 15-minute time block. And it may take about 15 minutes for me to get the child into the chair if we do that. And then it's the conversation, and then it's trying to find the right haircut, and then I'm trying to do the haircut from a creative standpoint. And the results are all so I'm frustrated, I'm late, I'm frustrated, flustered, and all the things. And so, it came to it that they had a lot of parents that were also always telling me that they were getting kicked out of barbershops and salons, or they
Uh-huh.
couldn't find emotionally safe space to get the haircut experience. So after giving them a thought, it set on my heart. I'm kind of person where if it gets to my heart and it doesn't leave, I feel as if I have to figure out how to solve it.
Sure.
And so I said, I prayed about it for quite some time. I was like, listen, Dad, I'll do it because I know at least that I can do it from a place of love, even though I don't want to do it. But I know the posture I can do it from will be from that place of love. And so
Sure.
that's how it started. And so the only way I could have done it, because I already had my work schedule fixed. I didn't want to come in earlier on one of my work days. I didn't want to stay later on none of my work days. So I figured I would come in every third Monday, which is well, I don't work on Mondays. So I come in every third Monday, my day off, and instead of blocking out 15 minutes, I'll block out 30 minutes, and I will still just charge them my regular kids cutting rate at that time. And so when I did it, it worked out beautifully because now I solved the problem of me rushing behind and trying to catch up, and it gave me buffering time to allow the children to stem, regulate themselves, get to know what's going on, and for me to kind of figure out what angle to approach them. I don't have any formal training in how to approach a child with special needs and none of that. It was all just, okay, what's happening
Just,
here? Hey,
yeah. Just
hey,
you
I'm
being
Vernon
a
Jack.
caring guy
I'm your
that,
barber. What's up,
yeah.
man? It's trying to be present, and that's and so I learned along the way by observing how to what be the best approach to create the safe space or to counteract their sensitivities with the clipper, how to introduce and that type of thing. And then so the whole career and space I'm in with the work I do has been a call to respond. So it
Mhm.
has been, oh, this is my idea. I'm going to do this. Like, this is the problem. I have the capacity to solve it. Let me solve it. And so that's the haircut piece. Now the fundraising piece for it to be free for the families came in because people seen the work that I was doing, which I started. And the reason I started recording the experiences was because I kept getting parents saying, listen, I don't know what it's about you, but every haircut up until this point, my child never sat still, never got through a whole haircut. No, people never was patient enough to sit here, all those things.
Wait,
And so,
I'm going to interrupt you for just a second, Vernon. Sorry. You, So people were coming to you, they were getting more time, so their children were feeling more comfortable with you. I imagine wildly successful in terms of the clients and the customers getting what they need in terms of a better haircut, in terms of feeling comfortable in that space. And then you started to video, is that right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I saw the video come like because I was getting too many of the same responses of like, oh man, this is we never had this before and they never sat this still. And I'm like, man, y'all keep telling me this. I'm hearing this way too many times.
Yeah,
Like I'm like I know I'm good, but y'all, this is
there's
too
something else.
much.
Yeah.
It sounds like y'all blowing, what I'm saying, hot air
Yeah,
on me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, you ain't get, like, give it to me straight. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, because if you tell me that your child for the past 2 years couldn't get a haircut, and all of a sudden you come to me and you're getting a haircut or they calm and they're laughing, and then I'm like,
That's
that's
a whole bit.
I never, 'cause I didn't experience their story beforehand,
Mhm.
so I can't really validate it and verify it, right? So, you know, so this is why I started sharing it, and then, um, but one of my friends had saw, me promoting doing the work. He said, "Hey man, can I sponsor a haircut?" And I was like, "All right, sure, you can sponsor a haircut. Why not?" And then another one of my clients had hit me up who saw the work that I was doing and asked if she sponsored a haircut. And then I made a post. I was like, yo, it's so cool to see how the community is rallying behind the families to do to sponsor these haircuts. And next
Yeah.
thing you know, people started trying to send money in, and I was like, at first I was nervous about it. 'Cause I'm like, yo, like, um, I don't know the rules behind this. I don't know what's going on for real.
People are sending me
Uh,
money, what do I do? Like,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, and then one of my friends said, "There's like, yo, Vernon, the reality is people want to help you out. You gotta give them a way to help out and to be a part of the process. And a
yeah,
lot of times, money is the easiest way for people who have on the heart to give and to be a part of the process." And that's what it was, and there
yeah,
were periods of times where there were probably like 2 or 3 times where, like, I was really going out of the money that, that I came in, but I made a point to say, "Listen, that I don't care what happens, I'm never gonna charge for another haircut. I'm just not gonna do it." And so
wow,
they won't the families won't get it. If I fundraise enough or don't, whatever case is, this is what I'm doing. And every time the money got low or X, Y, and Z, things always, you know what I'm
something
saying?
worked
So I've
out.
always been taken care of. And so there's a gift that the families receive, there's a gift that the viewers receive by watching the videos,
For
and then there's a
sure.
gift that I receive by doing the work that I get to do.
It's so amazing, I'm thinking about, during my time as a behavior analyst. And whenever we would find somebody that could provide what you're providing, Vernon, like a sensory friendly experience, whether that was a movie theater, a haircut, a dentist, a doctor, I mean, it was like, it was like, all right, we have to tell everybody we know so that they can get a great experience because there are so many people. I can't share with you how many people I've spoken to that say, I wait till my son falls asleep, and while he's asleep, I sneak into his room and I take my scissors and I give him a haircut and I hope that I don't get any hair in his face and it wakes him up and I hope that he gets it through. And then I hope at the end that it looks okay. But a lot of times I can only do one side that day and then I have to wait until he's asleep on the other side. You're shaking your head because you've heard this story before, right?
Yes.
Um, and that's not the experience that people have when they come to you, right? I've seen your videos. They're fantastic. They're
Yeah. Yeah.
children laughing as they're getting haircuts. I mean, there are probably a lot of a lot of clients who are afraid of the clippers, the sound, the vibration, all those things,
Mhm.
but they feel comfortable when they come to get your haircuts.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad you said that. Like, and
Yeah.
one time I talked to other behavioral analysts, was it?
Yeah, behavior analyst, yeah.
And that's one of those was the ABA, is ABA
Yep,
therapy. Like, see,
you got it.
I don't know the term. I just know I just know what I do, right? It might just be popping like, "Hey, my God, we know what you do." I'm like, "Oh, great!" Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, and which I don't mind being that ignorant to it because as a side note, is the fact that to me, I'm just a guy who decided to show up, who allow
yeah,
myself to show up, and I didn't show up perfect and knowing everything. I show up as who I am and allow the work that I do to do what it can do.
Hmm.
And um, so yeah, yeah, man.
And that I'm writing that quote down, right? Because I love that. I'm just the guy that decided to show up and allowed myself to show up. I think
Yeah, yeah.
that's
No,
great.
it's just it's the truth. For when even when I thought the ABA therapist or her name is Erin, and it was the first time like from the professional aspect I got the behind the scenes like where like haircuts are hover between number one and number two of the most anxious experiences that families endure and experience with children that like on a spectrum or Down syndrome or you know what I'm saying that have sensitivities. Like it's up there with the doctor. And that gave me a different depth and gravity of the value of what it is that I do, you know? And not and so yeah, so again, when it comes down to like that, everybody gets a gift, and that views the videos, and even in the gift of giving, like I don't tell people I've gotten some grants for, but I don't like grants or grants. I
Yeah.
don't focus on it. I really enjoy the gift of seeing gifts come in,
Yeah.
and every time I see one, I always say thank you. I always say thank you and enjoy telling the families like, yo, like people are intentionally watching the video, however when they watch it, going to my bio, clicking the link, going there, putting in their information,
Right.
and then putting in whatever amount they're trying to donate. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't take like it's the work that I do was very intentional from every angle,
Yeah.
you know?
It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing what you've built, Vernon. I appreciate it, and having seen so many families go through a troubled time with this haircutting in particular, I appreciate what you've done. So I want to talk about you've got Noble Barber and Beauty, right? That's your barber shop, right?
Correct. It's on. Yep.
And then and salon, thank you. And then you've got the gifted events, right? Tell us more. Is the gifted event the time that you're doing the haircuts just for children with special needs and who are neurodiverse?
Correct.
Great.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And is that still happening every third Monday?
Yeah, no, 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 no. I took off the third Mondays because sometimes I have to travel on the weekends,
Yeah,
and it impedes upon my time. And so I did was I moved it to doing it every Wednesday, and I do it every Wednesday so that I can do more haircuts. I have more time dedicated to it, and if I travel, more likely I should be back by Wednesday.
great.
Yeah.
Well, you're building your whole life around this. That's great.
Yeah, no, seriously, and I do, and outside of the Wednesdays, I do about like now I do. Instead of me doing like 6 haircuts on every third Monday and probably like 4 haircuts, 5 haircuts on a Wednesday when I was doing it, and it was trying to like do too much. Once I consolidated it, I do on the average about 8 to 9 haircuts on a Wednesday and another like 6 to maybe 9 haircuts throughout the week.
Wow.
Like do my regular schedule where I have families that I have kids that come in that were like very sensitive to the haircut process. I want to get them in on a more regular basis, a more regular regimen to acclimate them and and go from there. Then I have them come in, or if I have kids that I've graduated that are not I can now cut their hair in a 15
In the
minute time
15
block. And
minutes.
then they're not so they're not so sensitive and emotional. They I was had them book a regular kids cut to my regular schedule.
I mean, I think what you just brought up is a great point, right? So many families have a negative experience in one location, and then they have this feeling of, I can never go back to that place again. Like
Yeah.
they just feel bad. They impeded on the community or whatever, however they may be feeling. Um, so then they go somewhere different the next time, but then their child never feels comfortable because they haven't had that repeat experience to get to know one person to then have that sense of safety that you were talking about. Um,
Mhm.
what are some tips that you would give to families to help them build that sense of safety and trust with their local hairstylist?
I'll give them a heads up. I would say give them a head. That's good. That's
Mm,
good. That's a good question. Give people a heads up. There's a reason why, you know what I'm saying? Like, the the title and description of the demographic is special needs. Because they need special, no matter how regularly you want your child to be treated and be seen, they still require special needs, special times, and special type of attention and intention.
mhm,
So you know, you can't, it's not fair for the other person to not know what to anticipate, and they're not even strong in that wheelhouse. To at least give a chance to kind of like, yo, like, heads up, I'm bringing my son. Do you have the capacity to work with him like that? You know, or
sure,
is there anyone in your shop that has the patience to do so? That way, everybody's a part of the conversation. No one's been removed from like what's happening, what's going on. And then you also uh, don't experience the potential of embarrassment of or
mhm,
whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I definitely say give a call first. You know what I'm saying?
sure,
Give a call first and give a heads up. Cause sometimes you might, because everybody runs their shop in their that's the shop. Every barber, every stylist run their chair totally different. You know,
sure.
that's why they got into business, to be self-employed, to be owners within their own right and be in control. So, just because then once you do that, you're not even feeling away. And then the child's not feeling away. And then, if you can't find somebody, I tell parents all the time, just buzz the hair off. Just buzz it. Fight
Yeah,
through it. If you gotta fight through it, I'm fighting sometimes too. I got
sure.
the patience to sit through it. But the thing is, but your reality is your reality. And if you keep focusing on your idea, what you think your reality should be from a place of entitlement, you're gonna always be behind that eight ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just if you can't find anybody in your area, go to the kitchen. Everybody get ready to put their football helmets and suits on and go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got
Yeah.
you gotta,
Mm,
but then afterwards, I love you, give me a hug. I'm so sorry. I
yeah.
know, X, Y, and Z. Or you watch my videos and get techniques and see what I do and try to bring it a part of your life. But again, that's why I have no problem in my videos showing the ugly side of what the ugly side of what it is that I do, because it's not gonna always be pretty.
It was really interesting. One of your videos, I think it was, it showed the kind of the first 5 minutes of the haircut, and then it fast forwarded a half an hour or something, and by the end, the little guy was sitting there, you were buzzing his hair, he was visibly, like, still not loving it, but he was going through it, and you were making progress, and it was like, "Alright, this is what we gotta do." So it was good to see that progression. I think one thing I wanna ask you is I noticed that your space is set up. It looks pretty quiet. It looks like the walls are dark in one of the videos that I saw. Is that all by design? Like, did you design a space that was less I don't know the right words. That was less
Stimulating.
stimulating to yeah,
Yeah.
to
Uh
keep everyone a little
no,
more
actually,
comfortable?
like, so when I first started doing the walls were dark in the shop with me and my old partner, but when we split ways, I end up brightening up the space. I'll focus on the lighting aspect of it.
Mm, got it.
The lights that I use, I want to make sure that the lights were bouncing off the walls enough so you can see the details of my haircuts. And then with the backspace when they get to the event space, um, you know, uh
Mhm.
the neutral gray uh paint color coupled with the toys and whatnot and other light colors and then the plants, and then it's the energy, you know what I'm saying, that's in the
Mm,
space,
yep.
the energy that's in there, and so I was really very, I was intentional about I was more intentional about the energy in the space than I was about the colors and everything else. And so but all the plants like in my house, in the shop, everything is real. And but the space being quiet, I'm sure it helps out a lot. And then my shop, the barbershop side, it's like a shotgun. It's nice size. So when kids come in, they see the spaces, they see the lights, and some kids love ceiling fans and that type of thing. So when they come in, they just like this, and they want to run around because it's so spacious. And so if their parents like, no, I said, no, 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 it's their first time, and let
Give
them
them that.
regulate, let
Yeah.
them move through. and I'm still setting up anyway. That way you can chill out from the drive here. You ain't got to worry about nothing, and then we just go into the back and we get it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I've done this, there's been I've developed a system in how I introduce the parents and the kids, and giving the parents the space to just sit back, be quiet, leave me alone. If I need you, I
Yeah.
know where you're at. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And to have and to start them both to be tuned into my voice over their voices in their head
Mm,
and their insecurities. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like dating and relationships. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's like as a man, like, look, if I'm gonna be the leader, if you want the benefits of my leadership and what I provide, you gotta be able to hear my voice over your fears and everything else. If you don't do that, I can't protect you for one. Two, I can't get to you. You know what I'm saying? And three, the results of now, don't get me wrong, your voice matters. And I want to hear what you have going on. But understand, ultimately, it's gonna fall on my shoulders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but to me, if I have a track record of success, you're here because I'm successful. You're here
Right.
because the work is successful. So be quiet more than you are talking when it's come around here. Unless it's a detail that I need to know that I may not be able to see. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Let me do
And
my
so that's the kind of thing where when I'm working with the families or whatnot, that I have to let myself like relax and let go of that. Yo, like I'm not like you know what we're here
yeah.
for. You know what's up.
Right. We're here. We
And
gotta get to work. We got some things we gotta take care of. It's gonna be hard, but we gotta do it. And I imagine tell me a little bit, I imagine as you're seeing clients and they're repeating clients, I imagine there's a moment where you feel like the trajectory changes, where you're like, this is getting hard and it's already hard and I'm sweaty and they're sweaty. And then there's a moment that things shift. I- Is there one like that that you can tell us about?
ah man, like I'm trying to think of a particular kid, but I focus on the moment. It's like this feeling of like when I have a child that's like that has been dependent on sitting on the parent's lap or whatever, and they didn't want to be independent. Then they walk into the space, and then we're a little more relaxed, and the parent tries to get geared up to kind of sit in the chair. It's like, no, 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 not today, not today. Have a seat. And I reach for the kid, and then the kid is like, oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Right, and I pick him up. How you doing? Good to see you. Da,
Yeah.
da. And like I sit them in, like, you know what I'm saying, to the chair. And then the kid may start kind of crying because he reach for the parent. And I scared the parents are always the safe. I said, no, 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 no. You got this. You go. You're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So I pump the chair up, put the cape on, let me put the cape on, and then I take the clippers. I start cutting. You know what I'm saying? I start trying to cut. They start trying to whine because they're whiners. I'm like, okay, as long as you're sitting still,
Oh,
you can
fun.
whine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we're here,
We're still gonna do
and
it.
next thing you know, we're moving along. Had a one of my most recent like challenging haircuts. A family drove in from Chicago, and they had family here, but they drove, but they want the haircut, but their bigger picture was um to get the haircut. And I was like, okay, for sure. So the first day, I mean, it was a fight. And when the video comes out, you will see it was a fight. And we had him cut his hair on the floor. He was screaming. And even when he said, I was like, we was tired of being on the ground. And he was like, just like, want to sit in the chair, he said, no, right here, right here. Like this, right? He's like about 11 years old. You hear me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, man, for sure. Like, so we going through, he's screaming, we get done, he gets up, he runs out the shop, right? He runs, right?
Okay.
And I got my point of view camera on. So you see me running after him outside to catch him, make sure he wasn't doing nothing crazy. And he goes to the car, and you see his face traumatized, and he slams the door, right?
Yeah.
So that was that day. But that was on that Wednesday. I came on my off day on Saturday, they cut his hair. And when I tell you, it was night and day.
Really?
He was apprehensive about coming in at first. But then I had a toy in there that caught his attention. Like, mm. I'm like, well, you want this? You gotta come and sit here. Like, he's like, and I don't want to see. I don't want to sit on the floor. Oh, no, I don't want to sit in the chair. I want to sit right there where he was the last time. So I cut his hair on the floor. Cut it on the floor, and we got through it. Finished the haircut, smoothed it out, and by the end of it, he gave me a high five. He gave me a hug. He was calm, and it was all good to go.
I just hear this like genuine human empathy from you and this like curiosity of like, great, this what do you need to be successful in this space and how can I provide it? And if it means we're going to sit on the floor, it means we're going to sit on the floor and that's okay.
Exactly. How do we get to yes?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a no. All right, but how do we get to the yes? What do you need? I get it. You invite us into doing something you really don't want to have done. We made that clear. What's the price?
Mm,
If it's negotiable, what is it? Okay, well, you want this? Well, so it's gonna cost you 10 seconds of clippers.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, now then when you start crying, I'm gonna take that away from you. Like, all right, to get this
Yeah.
back, 10 more
10
seconds.
more
And
seconds.
and then and so I'm micromanaging and micro introducing the moments into it and doing a bartering and but that works for some kids. Some kids it doesn't. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'm a better listener than I'm a talker, right? So I'm gonna listen to what's happening. I'm paying attention, and how can I deliver how can I get us all what we're looking for, which is results.
Vernon, the behavior analyst in me, and I'm sure any of the behavior analysts who are listening to this are hearing like there are some things that you're doing. You may not know it and you may not be aware of it, but like you've got a lot of like really good behavior analytics in your practices. And
Mm.
so good for you for paying attention and good for you for listening and learning along the way and just appreciate what you're doing. Where can we find more about you? Where can we find more about your gifted events and about your barbershop and salon?
So the the go-to site is thegiftedevent.com. That's the place that you can go and where you can see where to donate at, where to get a t-shirt at, where to book at, and all those things, right? My videos are on YouTube. And you look up the Gifted Event Official. We just hit 283,000 subscribers on there, which is wild. So
Congratulations.
I remember I had like 500 subscribers. You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
500. And man, and side note to that, one of my most proudest moments with YouTube was there was a kid that did like his own TED talk of
Mm,
they had a TED talk at his school. It was elementary school. He was a seventh grade, maybe, or junior high school. And he's come out the positives of YouTube. And he said he opened up by saying his first video that he experienced of YouTube was someone getting a bucket drop on his head on their head. He said, but there's positive sides, and he listed off. I know I was watching because the person who inboxed was saying that like one of our students said you inspired him, and here's a speech, and so he's going through it, his speech, and he started listing off accounts that he follows, that he respects and that he looks up to. The first was Mr. Beast. The second one was Mr. Beast got 300 something million
yeah.
subscribers.
Yeah.
And there was another guy that was like these are all white guys. I think the kid was like Middle Eastern or something like that for real. But another white guy who was like had like 15 million, 20 million. And then third was me. At that point, when he had like 13,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I tell you, dude, I cried for 3 days.
Bet.
I cried for 3 days just seeing that. It was like wow, like you know what I'm saying? Like to have moments that I get to come up for that require me, that pushes me up for air, and to really like look up and see how far I've been swimming or how far I've come along, and
Yeah.
to witness the impact that has been made by the work that I do. Even now, my eyes well up
I was
thinking
gonna
about
say
it.
I hear the emotion in your voice, and I imagine that that's probably incredibly validating to say, like, I've shown up, I've allowed myself to show up, I've allowed myself to make mistakes and have all the successes that I could possibly dream of, and to have it be validated by a middle schooler or junior high schooler nonetheless, right? That's got to feel empowering.
Man. Ah, yeah. So that's the YouTube story. So that's that.
Great.
And then on Instagram, the number one, the work period. That page is me still sharing the work, but also it's still like my digital journal footprint that I keep it to. So I still may post some selfies, post some stuff about my books that I've written, or it's more of a personal thing more than
Got it.
anything else. And then TikTok is also the Get to the Event official, where a lot of my videos are. So all the video platforms are there, but if you click the link in their bios, they're seeing anything I got going on.
We'll make sure that all that is in our show notes for people to find. But Vernon, just appreciate you being here. Appreciate the work you're doing. Thanks for bringing a gift to the community that doesn't always have one. I just, again, thinking about all the people that I've worked with in the past that could have benefited from the work that you're doing now. I can't wait for them to hear about it. Thanks, man. I
Man,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. Thank you, Missy.
Yeah.